Alright, so The Fall Guy is in theaters now. I just watched it a couple days ago and I wanted to talk about it. Um, Fall Guy stars Ryan Gosling and Emily Blunt, follows a stuntman who must help find the missing lead actor of his ex girlfriend's directorial debut film. Now, it's loosely based on the 1980s ABC show of the same name, starring Lee Majors from the $6 Million Man, who, fun fact, he sings the theme song for that show, which is also in the movie. But it was, again, loosely based off it because it was about a Hollywood stunt performer who lives like a secret life as a vigilante taking out criminals and using his skills he's learned in the stunt business. I haven't I've kind of caught glimpses of it. I didn't like watch it religiously. Again, I didn't know too much about this going in. Um, but reading more, I was hearing that it had been in development since like 2010, and at some point they had Tom Cruise, Keanu Reeves, Nicolas Cage, Jason Statham, and Dwayne Johnson were all in talks to be playing the lead. None of which I would have gone with personally. Um, I would have preferred somebody who actually had stunt experience, and bonus was person of color and had some acting chops. So I thought Ki Kwan would be perfect because he was a stuntman and an actor. And there's much more out there to choose from. Um, but yeah, it wasn't until 2020 did we start hearing about the current cast and crew that is what we see on the screen now. But it's directed by David Leitch, if I'm pronouncing that correctly. He's the director um, of the first John Wick, Atomic Blonde, Deadpool 2, and Hobbs and Shaw, and as well as Bullet Train, which I frankly I missed. I missed out on that one due to the whitewashing of that adaptation. And I'm just not a Brad Pitt fan. I do need to mention that David Leitch was Brad Pitt's stunt double 5 times, and twice for Jean Claude Van Damme. So he was a stuntman, which is cool, and I think that does add some credit to the film. And then I was hearing that it was inspired by him and his wife's relationship, as well as I know Emily Blunt took inspiration for her role from Greta Gerwig, the great director of Barbie and many others. Um, but I okay. Let me start with what made me want to go and watch this movie. Um, well, I'm a Ryan Gosling fan. I'm a fan of Emily Blunt, and I am a fan of the movie business, having worked in film and just being a fan of movies. I personally love movies that involve filmmaking. So I was excited for those aspects, especially like I was a big fan of Barbie, not so much Oppenheimer, but I was looking forward to seeing more of Ryan Gosling, but at the same time, again, I had that person of color issue, and thinking about it now, yeah, no, Ki Kwan would have been a great choice, but Yeah, he delivers. He does a good job with what he has in front of him. I know he's a producer too, but my biggest problem with the film is it tries to be too many different things at once. Um, an action film and a romance film, and also very much a stunt film. And I felt like those things didn't, they weren't executed well in terms of being blended together. Like I'm like, and it was also like kind of paying homage to that 1980s show based on the same name. So I felt like it should have like put 2 feet in, being either a romantic action adventure, or it should have led into just being a full-on like stuntophile like nerd fest, and really being something for stunt people to be involved with in front of and behind the camera. And like I think it's the big names, it's the pretty people, it's Ryan Gosling just looks way too pretty to be a stuntman like that. I'm not an expertise on what stuntmen look like, but God, if you look like Ryan Gosling, then you're gonna be Ryan Gosling. Like he is where he's at for a reason. The leading man, and that kind of takes away from the message a little bit for me, like giving stunt people credit. But I feel like the person who walks away with this is Ryan Gosling and Emily Blunt, and the director to some degree. So yeah, that was my biggest issue with the film overall, and but I was intrigued, initially by the Ryan Gosling, Emily Blunt, and the film aspect of it. I just was kind of hoping it would have been a little more one or the other. But again, even from the trailer, I had the same issues with it, which I just mentioned. But look, I enjoyed their performances for what, again, like with what they had, they did good. Like they, not like the best, wasn't my favorite thing I've ever seen. There were still parts of it that were fun. I loved, one of my favorite parts was seeing Emily Blunt kick Ryan Gosling's butt in that alien costume. I know. Speaking of the alien costume, I know that a lot of people had issues with like it making fun of Dune, and I can see that, but I'm also not here to defend Dune. I I have my feelings about Dune. I think it has its good things, but I also have a lot of issues with it, and overall, kind of think it's okay. I think to me, it's the desert Avatar slash Pocahontas again. But anyways, back to Fall Guy. I didn't think making fun of Dune specifically was that bad, but I do think they were kind of making fun of blockbusters to some degree. And I don't think that's the problem, that we need to make fun of. But the one thing I did make fun of that I kind of enjoyed was the AI use. Aaron Taylor Johnson, who he did an alright job. Overall, though, I didn't really care for this whole mystery kind of crime side of it. Again, like I felt like just don't use the stunt thing as a backdrop for it. It's not as interesting to me. Again, it's kind of like a half and half. Like I like the AI part, um, and poking at that, saying he would use that to kind of cover up the face and stuff, and just do the stunt, make it look like he did the stunt himself with AI. Because yeah, AI is a problem, and I don't want that to take over. So that's my stance on AI. But who else? I Hannah Waddingham, who I had only been familiar with in Ted Lasso, which I didn't even watch all of. I just watched a little bit of that. She was good. I was trying to think if it passed the Bechdel-Wallace test, because there's a couple scenes with her and Emily Blunt. And if you don't know what the Bechdel-Wallace test is, it's when at least two women talk to each other about something other than a man, and they need to be named, preferably. Halfway through, I was trying to like remember this, but I'm pretty sure they were always talking about Ryan Gosling's character or Aaron Taylor Johnson's character, so I don't think it passed. But if anyone else noticed and could pick out a thing, please let me know. It was a strong role for a woman, but at the same time, I don't think it was that believable. Specifically, I think originally she was supposed to be in the costume department or something even more obscure, but she was a camera operator. And I don't see that jump to director being that realistic, especially in a big level of movies that they're doing. There's just the first people they would have looked at would have been the cinematographer or a producer or a writer. Yeah, a writer most likely, or a cinematographer, you know. But camera operator, let's give him a big action blockbuster. And like I would for a woman, yeah, for like we should, but that's not realistic. That's not the world we live in today. That's so that part was not believable to me. As well as Ryan Gosling being a stuntman, that part was the biggest non-believable aspect for it, for me. But Teresa Palmer was in it, who frankly I didn't even realize until after, because I could barely recognize her. I only know her from like one or two things. She was in one horror movie I saw. Was it Lights Out? She was in Lights Out. That was actually pretty good. But she was also in a movie called Take Me Home Tonight with Topher Grace. That movie has its issues and doesn't age well in some areas, but she had her moments in that movie. But again, I didn't even notice her in this one. She doesn't have a big part. Speaking of not large parts, Stephanie Shu, who I love from, well, she's in a few things. She's in Everything Everywhere All at Once, which I am wearing the hat for. Sorry. And she's in a few shows that I was watching. Oh, okay. Recently, Joyride was amazing. She's also in Shang-Chi. She has a small role in Shang-Chi. She was in American Born Chinese. I think she was in the Aquafina show. Which is a great show if you haven't watched that. But Joyride and Everything Everywhere All at Once, Shang-Chi should have won the Oscar for Best Supporting. Not Jamie Lee Curtis. Anyways, she should have had a much bigger role. When I saw her name in the opening credits, because I didn't remember her in the trailer really, and so I was looking forward to seeing who she was going to play, but it was not as big of a role as I had hoped for. Winston Duke was cool. It just seemed very much like the one diverse character you have that has some decent screen time. And I think that's a big reason why it didn't do super well at the box office. We can talk about those numbers. Different sources have said this movie has had a budget between 125 million and 150 million. And it was projected to make 30 to 35 million for an opening weekend in the US. And it only got 27.7 million in the US and Canada. So US and Canada is what they were projecting. Worldwide, 64.5 million. So not the best, especially for like your first summer blockbuster movie. It's kind of sad. I mean, the entire state of cinema is sad right now. But a few things that are cool about it, though. Some fun facts is that it did break a Guinness World Record for most cannon rolls in a car. 8.5 rolls by stunt driver Logan Holiday. And I guess Chris O'Hara received credit for the crew position of stunt designer, which is believed to be the first credit of its kind. And it's meant to acknowledge like the high level of artistic contribution of the traditional stunt coordinator's role, and recognize like the creativeness that goes into stunts and what they do in the industry. And they should. I do think it is stunt people's time to shine. Like I've always been saying, we need that category at award ceremonies, award shows, big ones like that matter that people watch. I'm not saying that they matter, but you know what I mean. I do not love the Oscars for many reasons, but one thing that they definitely should have done was add stunts a long time ago, amongst many things. And I was just hoping for something a little bit better for stunt people in the stunt industry. And I felt like it was completely A-list actor washed. You know, every single person was like a big person in there. Even their big cameo at the end, which we can talk about because it's been out for a while, and this is a review breakdown, so spoilers. But at the very end, we do get to see Lee Majors, and because it's not really being that show, so I wasn't thinking about that too much. You know, I'm more hoping for a big stunt reference that I never got. So yeah, I was hoping for more in-depth knowledge, almost an education on the stunt thing. You know, I think there could have been a lot more ways to have done this that would have satisfied and delved more into what it's like. But yeah, it was just trying to be too many different things at once. You know, I can respect the romance side of it, I can respect the action side of it, and the stunt side of it, but all of it together just didn't blend well and didn't allow you to focus on one or the other enough, I feel like. But yeah, I don't know if we'll see any future installments of this, that's for sure, just based on how it's been doing. But yeah, sadly it's not the nice kickoff I was hoping for the summer. Like many of us are. I really think the only thing that's really bringing excitement now is Deadpool and Wolverine. But we'll see. Phantom Menace was second place at the box office last week, so goes to show the state of how new movies are doing right now. If old movies can do that well, it's pretty sad. But I would love to hear what you guys thought. If you guys watched The Fall Guy, let me know what you guys think. And what did you guys love about it? What did you guys hate about it? What would you have done differently? But yeah, man, it had its little tiny moments. Again, it's sad that it's kind of what I would recommend for like a fun, lighthearted movie, because it is. It is that. But I only recommend it because there's nothing else out right now that's like fun and light, other than Shrek 2 or Star Wars Phantom Menace, which are just re-releases. There's just not much happening at the cinemas right now. But hey, if you have some spare time, I guess you can go check it out. But yeah, no, I'd honestly save my money. You know, if you're already like on the fence about it, I would just wait for digital if you really want to watch it that bad. Yeah, again, let me know what you guys think. Thank you guys for watching. Be doing a few more reviews. I'll try to get all the ones that are in theaters out, but we'll see. Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes comes out today, actually. There's an early show, 7 o'clock. We'll see. I'll put a review out for that soon. The other movie we're getting tomorrow. What are we getting tomorrow? It's Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes. I'm just kind of like whatever about it. Are we getting Garfield tomorrow too? No, it's just... Yeah, it's literally just apes. But we'll see. That pre-show's sold out almost, but yeah, are you guys excited? What are you guys gonna watch this week? Let me know. But if you guys are gonna check out The Fall Guy, did you already watch it? Alright, have a good day.